This is RadioWilder.com with Harry, season 2018, welcoming Australia and Brazil to the lineup. Now in 17 countries, bringing you Wilder news flashes, the Hot Wilder t-shirt, cool rock and roll videos, and interviews every week. Now, here's Harry.
Friday night, Radio Wilder. I keep struggling with some kind of a fancy intro, and I'm not a cowboy, so howdy doesn't work, and we went through the dudes. I'm not sure what to do other than just start the program off and tell you I'm happy that you're here. Thanks for joining us. Tonight, we're going to change 2 or 3 things. Number one, it's no longer going to be homework for me. Starting whatever our updates are, they're going to be Wilder news because there is more and more of them. So we'll get rid of homework. It sounds kind of like drudgery, but it's really not. Happy to have everybody. A whole wheelbarrow full of stuff tonight that we're going to talk about. Want to thank the people that have gone out and listened to our mellow. We've got some good comments on the mellow, meditation, yoga. Got somebody said, well, this is just exactly what I need today. So it's out there. It's an hour and a half of mellow stuff or yoga stuff, or you can meditate to it, whatever you like. And we'll be changing it out probably once a month, 2 or 3 tunes. And if you have some suggestions on that, please send them in and just say you want this added to the mellow. And I'd say that an hour and 40, hour and 50 minutes. Pick what you want if you're lacking a music source that night for any of those things. Next, in the Wilder news section, I don't know which one I should announce first. You know, Terry is a stickler for, he likes uniformity. He's a Southern boy, but he, has that anal. I've got to have everything lined up in a row, even though he doesn't act like he does. And he can multitask with the best, except when he's over-caffeinated. Then you don't know what's going to come out of T-Bone. But when we looked at our countries, I don't remember if anybody, whatever our last update was, we say 14, but it's actually 15 because we are in the U.S. So it's 15. Let's just do it the proper way to call roll, if you will. We have 15. Well, the first one alphabetically is Canada. And T was looking around. We got Canada, and on the road we went. Well, we're happy to say welcome to the complete alpha starting from the top. The fine folks from Australia have joined us. We have 3 of their finest have hopped onto the Wilder program. And then a little down in South America, we have Brazil that's hopped aboard. So now Terry can look comfortably at an A, B, and C. So 17 countries have joined the Wilder program. This week, we are going to do a little bit. This is the first time we've done any type of advertising at all. It's a little social media that we're going to do to kind of bolster what we've already got going on that's been increasing every single week because now we have some people on board and we want to help them out. Specifically, I flipped a coin, which is more exciting to me, but I have to opt for my longtime, lifetime friend, Ty Grimes. He and I have been pals since we were 14 years old, playing the drums, loving the drums. You've heard me mention him several times. He's played with many of the greats. And as far as we're concerned, as far as I'm concerned, the person that really influenced me the most to actually want to play, not listen. I was listening for 5-6 years before I ever saw a show, was Ricky Nelson. And Ty had the great pleasure of playing with him, Carnegie Hall, many others. And there'll be some stories on that. But Ty reached out to me last week on the big birthday extravaganza. And if you'll notice, right up on the front page, we've already got a date, Ty and I do, to hook up it down in Austin, where he hangs out. He's putting a new 4-piece together. We're going to do a few days of interviews, get some of the stories of studios and being on the road, the real stuff. So our listeners can have content that is our stuff, that is content, people that we know. Ty is now in the Wilder video section. He did a little work with the trio, or they put the trio together, 2 Texas boys and a guy from Chicago. They call themselves loosely the Tres Hombres. It's Medicine Man. A nice tune, and Ty's up there, so I'm thrilled after these years we get to do something together like that, except raise hell in high school like we did. It's wonderful. So Ty, happy to be hooked back up with you. There's more to come in that area. And then the next thing that was just a little bit below Ty, we've been working with Marcia Meyer and the Be Kind People Project, because that's the charity we really wanted to support. They're working with young people to help the young people come into the adult world or young adult world with an idea of respect and accountability. Things that are going to take them a long way that you have to have, whether it's working or just in relationships, a level of respect. Maybe they're working to help stop some of the harassment and bullying. And the premise of this, the premise of this is that their message needs to be from peers rather than the adults and people talking to them. I'm very happy to have them aboard. Terry and I are going to meet next week and put the final touches on what's going to be a platform on the front of the website. The platform will receive anything that we sell in our shop, which currently only has one thing, but soon we're going to have some gift baskets. Will receive a donation from us, but that's not going to turn their world around unless we have 70 countries and people want to participate in that way. What's going to happen is their platform is going to give you an automatic shoot, a link to go to their site, look at some of their stuff, and be able to donate to them. It's a very worthwhile cause. They've been doing it for 6 years, reached or touched over 2 million people, hundreds of thousands here in Arizona. It's a very admirable, makes me very happy that this thing, again, my daughter's music box has turned into music book, if you will, is turned into this. So that's a nice thrill. We're going to also cover this up. The next few shows we're going to have to go to double request. We have 2 today, so that I can be not way behind the curve. Of course, we're thrilled. I want to have more requests than I can handle. I don't think we'll ever get to an all-request show. I'm not going to do that. But 2 is good, and we're up to the area where we're approaching a 2-hour program with videos and stuff on there, and people have asked for more and more. So we're going to have it, and we're going to run the next 3 or 4 like that, I'm sure, at least. Finally, before we get into the tunes, before we spin the vinyl, we're going to break, as we talked about, this new song from a British artist, songwriter, singer, that we're going to break on our program on March 23rd. Leading up to that, we're going to have some sound bites from David. We're going to have a little video up on the site and break his song in America. We're flattered to do it, and without too much hubris, I don't really believe one of the big bands, I don't think Maroon 5 is going to call us and say, we'd love to have you break your show in America or even in many, many foreign countries. But we're happy and honored to do it. He seems like a really good guy. He's had a couple of top 40 UK hits. So David will come along. And as we get into today's show, as we look at today's, it's across the board. And I can't help myself because you do have the decades in there. And I noticed we got some 60s, we have an 80, a lot of 90s, 2000s, and I think it's going to be a very interesting show. We've got a really good double play, Deuces or Wilder, I call it. And we also have a real treat. If you remember, we have a contest going, not really, but the best title of the year for a song is Hot Girls and Good Moods. At least it's going to be tough to knock that off my plate. Well, Butch Walker has kindly offered, and then we accepted, to write a song about us. So the number 2 song is written for the Radio Wilder program, so we're thrilled to introduce that. Probably the best thing to do right now is let's get some songs underway, let's get into the music, let's get that going, and then we'll have more from Radio Wilder. Again, thrilled to be in 17 countries. Our audience in the United States in the last 2 weeks has jumped up 20%. It's the music. People want the music. And then it's the contributions from you, the listeners, because you've added to it new songs, new stuff, brought it to my attention and other attention. So it's like a great big family, and we really appreciate it. Let's do some rock and roll.
and only white hair was yours. When my favorite band still wrote songs I like, I can't relate to them anymore. Did you come back to tell me you're sorry? Or are you scared of being alone? If staying in love was as easy as falling in, you and me would have never known. Even though we tried to keep it burning, yeah, we were bound to lose the spark. Yeah, can you still feel the fire when you look in my eyes? When our minds were young and we were wild in the heart.
That fired me up. Let's listen to Howlin'Wolf. I want to hear that right now.
Somebody knocking on my door. Somebody knocking on my door. Well, I'm so worried, don't know where to go. Well, somebody calling me on my telephone. Well, somebody calling over my telephone. Well, keep on calling. Tell 'em I'm not at home. Well, don't not worry. Daddy's gonna bear.
Thanks, Butch, for writing the song for us. Wilder in the Heart, Butch Walker, off his Stay Gold album. That's about a year and a half old, 2016. Of course, leading us off, I don't know if I said we don't have a 70s or 80s, but we do have an 80s rock and roll high school, the Ramones. That's off their Weird Tales of the Ramones. Everything is the weird from that. But as I listened to Butch singing along, trying to dedicate a tune to the Wilder program, I just couldn't stand it. I saw Moaning at Midnight, Howlin'Wolf, and I had to have that too. That's how it goes at the Radio Wilder program. We put on songs. If they're good ones, we sometimes can't stand it and have to have them. Next two groups, before we get to our first dedication, Divinely's, or Divinely's, I'm not sure. It's Divinyls. They're an Australian group, big-time Australian group. formed in Sydney in 1980, had about a 16-year rock. They are in the Australian industry rock, their version of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2006. This particular song, I Touch Myself, is off of their 1990 album, and it reached number 4 in the U.S. and number 1 in Australia. That's a nice tune, sexy lady, and she became kind of known and famous for singing away in her little school uniform with the fishnet stockings. I'm sure that went over big. Good tune, nice tune, and it's one of those on the Radio Wilder program. You've got to have the girls singing to you now and then. After that, we're going to move over into White Denim doing Hold Ya. White Denim is an Austin group, 2016. They've been out there, and they're a combination of psych, a little psychedelic, a little blues, a little pop, a little rock, kind of melding it all together. It's another tune that came out on the Wilder program that I just liked it, and they have a couple of new ones out. This is also a 2016, so we're going to play those two together because I think they work well together, and then we're going to move into the first of the two song requests. And we'll pop back into the 60s for that, for a real classic, even though a young lady is the one that requested it. Let's rock and let's roll on Radio Wilder.
I love myself. I want you to love me. When I feel down, I want you above me. I search myself. I want you to find me. I forget myself. I want you to remind me. I don't
RadioWilder.com. Now with listeners in 17 countries around the world, including Australia, Brazil, France, Germany, Japan, the UK, Ireland, India, Poland, Russia, and the US. Let us know where you're listening to RadioWilder.com.
When you see me, you turn away. I can't remember what I wanted to say. I'm quite concerned. I'm going down. I need to face it, but I don't know how. Is it gonna last? Look at yourself. Find some time to tell one of the truth. Oh, I can't wait to get a hold of you. Get a hold of you. Get a hold of you. Somewhat suspicious, shaky hands. I get the feeling you've been making other plans. Like a fool, I was misled, hanging on to little things that you said. Is it gonna last? Look at yourself. Find some time to tell one of the truth. Oh, I can't wait to get a hold of you. Get a hold of you. Get a hold of you.
They kind of work together, don't they? Austin, Australia. One of the things that is always remarkable in music, not just rock and roll, is how some of these foreigners, an Australian at least, they're singing, and you have to find it and hear it in the word you, or I'm not really doing it correctly, but I had to listen to her. There are only a couple of words where you can kind of get a little bit of an accent, and it rolls across the board. I'm mostly familiar with rock, but there are plenty of them. Certainly you hear even some of the English guys where you don't hear anything or do anything. Next, first request, Born to Be Wild, Steppenwolf, 68, a beauty, a classic. We have it also, and I think we have played it in the Deuces Are Wilder collection. This is a request, goes out to Leilani Romer. Leilani's the proud new owner of Romer Social. She does some of our social media stuff. She's from the Apple Orchard. That's what I like to call it, folks that come out of the Apple world. Very smart, quick, creative woman. She and Charles live in Kansas City. They have a couple of little baby units. Those are children to the rest of you. And she manages to multitask everything and stay on top of it. So if you're looking for somebody, you can look her up, Romer Social, R-O-M-E-R, Social, or send us a shout out and we'll be happy to make a connection for you. She knows what she's doing. And in today's world, if you're not on top of social media, it'll be on top of you. Even somebody that has been around the block in media, advertising forever and ever and ever. At the end of the day, if you want to use that term, marketing, advertising, social media, they're all trying to do the same thing. You're trying to get eyeballs to the screen. You're trying to get fannies in the seats. You're trying to get people to buy product. Just different ways of doing it, but you measure it all at the end. You have your analytics. You have the time. There are certain times a day that people are going to listen. You pay certain prices depending on what it is. So it's the same stuff, just different cars to use it, which is always interesting to me because it is in my world. Then we have, my world revolves around stickies, and it's kind of strange because I have really three stickies. Three stickies are together, and then no more stickies for the rest of the day. So I'm not sure exactly how I want to do this. We have Born to Be Wild. I think what we'll do is, I know what we'll do. We'll do Born to Be Wild and I Can't Dance, Genesis. And Genesis gets the first big sticky. Then I'll tell a little poker story. It's time to go back on the poker trail. And this time it'll be when I'm in my young poker career, when I'm donating my money in California and Las Vegas and everything else, getting beat up by the big guys. We'll move a little chapter in that. So Genesis came out in 1967, and as a group, at one time, they had two vocalists, Peter Gabriel, Phil Collins, made a lot of good songs, hot songs when they first started, but they hit it big in 1986, had a big album then, and over the period of time, they've sold probably in the U.S. alone well over 20 million albums, and in the world, 100 to 150 million. Very talented, unique sound, and two or three of them, Collins and Gabriel, were able to break off on their own. Collins did come back. So Genesis is a big timer, and when they first came out, they had their own unique sound. So we'll do that. We'll do Born to Be Wild. We'll do Genesis, a little story, or maybe one more song and then a little story, and then we'll go into the fabulous, Dave will take us into the Deuces Are Wilder collection. Let's rock, let's roll on RadioWilder.com.
Get your motor running, head out on the highway, looking for adventure, and whatever comes our way. Yeah, darling, go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. I like smoking lightning, heavy metal thunder, racing with the wind, and the feeling that I'm under. Yeah, darling, go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. Like a true nature's child, we were born to be wild. We can climb so high, I never wanna die.
future and whatever comes our way. Yeah, darling, go make it happen. Take the world in a loving embrace. Fire all of your guns at once and explode into space. And let the true nature's child. We were born to be wild. We can climb so high. I never wanna die. Born to be wild. Born to be wild.
Hot sun beating down, burning my feet just walking around. Hot sun making me sweat. Gators getting close, hasn't got me yet. I can dance, I can talk. Only thing about me is the way I walk. I can dance, I can sing. I'm just standing here selling everything. Blue jeans sit on the beach. Her dog's talking to me, but she's out of reach. Ooh, she's got a body under that shirt, but all she wants to do is rub my face in the dirt. 'Cause I can dance, I can talk. Only thing about me is the way I walk. I can dance, I can sing. I'm just standing here selling, oh, and checking everything is in place. You never know who's looking on. Young punk spilling beer on my shoes. Fat guys talking to me, trying to steal my blues. Thick smoke, see her smiling through. I never thought so much could happen just shooting through. But I can dance, I can talk. The only thing about me is the way that I walk. I can dance, I can sing. I'm just standing here selling, oh, and checking everything is in place. You never know who's looking on. A perfect body with a perfect face. No, I can dance, I can talk. The only thing about me is the way I walk.
any songs that say I can't dance resonate with me. Phil Collins, Genesis. Before that, Born to Be Wild for Leilani Romer. We're going to go to a short little poker story tonight. There's a fair amount of them, and at the end of it, even though now we have a raging program, I do always remember that when the big vault opens up, this will be a music book for my daughter. She does know plenty about the poker tour. But without stopping wherever I stopped last time, I will fast forward to a cruise, and we might have covered a little of it, but it's kind of worth going over again because it actually provided me with a wonderful buddy and a lifelong friend now, and who's pals with Marlene and I, and I'm pals with him and some of their friends. So my dad won this cruise at a casino here, and he didn't want to travel, he didn't want to go. So it was worth, I don't know, $3,000 or something, and he sold it to me for $1,700, and I thought, I'll go. I was married at the time, not to my beloved, my current beloved. I've worked hard to get marriage, and I haven't done the greatest of jobs, but I've got it right now. So we went on this cruise, and things were rocky. We went down to Miami, and we had a night to wait before we got on the cruise, so we hung out that particular evening, and I think it was a Friday night. And we stayed at this hotel that beneath the hotel or down it had some kind of a mall, and it was like beneath the hotel, a fairly good-sized mall. So in the morning, Saturday morning, we were going to get on the boat at 4 o'clock. It was a poker cruise, and so they would have a welcoming cocktail party, and on the boat it would be like a regular cruise that everybody who has taken a cruise is familiar with. You know, the food, the goods, the shows. The difference would be there would be ongoing poker tournaments. Pretty good players playing. Not you weren't going to run into some tourists playing poker. They're pretty good. I figured I'll get my share in there. So I wandered out of the room about 9:15. I walked downstairs. I took an elevator and down to this mall. And in the mall, it was, you've seen the malls where the stores are closed and they have these kind of metal shields that come down, or they look like metal netting, if you will. They come down, so that everything was closed. I walk around the corner and there's another guy standing there, just the two of us in this pretty vast hallway. So we just ran into each other and said hi, and his name was Robbie Sampson. And Robbie and I began to talk, and where are you from? Well, Phoenix. Oh, I'm from Phoenix. And so we talked about that a little bit. And then he said he was on a blind date on his cruise. And I thought, Robbie, wow, I barely knew you, but you seem like quite a commander. That's quite a gamble. He said, well, we met at a coffee, and we had a coffee together. And I said, okay, that's good enough. I've gone on cruises with less than that, so let's do it. So I said, well, if I see you, let's have a drink at 4 or 4:30 at the cocktail party, or say hi. I'll introduce you to my wife, and you can introduce me to your blind date. He said, okay. So at 4 o'clock, we got on the boat, and there was I could see kind of a little stepway coming down, and here comes Robbie, and Diane and I are sitting there having a drink. Robbie comes and sits down, and I introduce him, and I said, how are things going? And I'm not going to lay out too much of this story, or Robbie will club me. Mine isn't too great either. Well, and it's actually, I want to get to the poker part rather than the TMZ part. Robbie, and he said, well, she's got a headache and this and that, and I don't know what, she'll be down a little while. Okay, great. We talked about what we're going to do on the cruise, if we wanted to go to a show and see anything, and talked a little bit about poker. Well, about 2 or 3 hours went by, nothing happened. So Robbie kind of peeled off. Diane and I did. Well, to take this and make it an extremely short story, Robbie, it turned out to be one of those bad Love Boat cruises for Robbie. We'll leave it that way. His blind date turned out to be a blind date. We'll leave it at that. Diane and I kind of moved along okay, and that was the end of the cruise. But towards the end, Robbie said to me, I have a tournament that I play in California, and it's called Aces and Eights. It's the world's oldest invitational tournament, amateur, great players in there. And at that particular time, probably going on, these guys started in their 20s, 24, 25, 4 of them. and they would move around Los Angeles. They lived. A couple of them were from Ohio, and they all went out to make their fame and fortune. One was a doctor. One was an emergency doctor. Another person was a Hollywood producer. You name it, these guys did it. And some of them became quite famous. And this tournament just kept going on and on a weekly, I presume it was weekly to begin with. You got an invitation to go, and when you went, they would size you up and say, you had to have a little decorum and be decent, and you would probably get an invite. Just being a fish or a sucker wasn't good enough because they didn't play for much money. However, by the time I ran into them, they had plenty of money. One of the guys, Jay Moriarty, really a good friend of mine, he produced a couple of big Hollywood shows, Charles in Charge. He was involved in The Jeffersons and some other ones. And we had people there like the girl from Father Knows Best, and her husband was Barbara Streisand's choreographer, and they'd make a big deal out of the tournament, play the national anthem, do this, do that. So you put up about $110. Again, nothing. It was very cutthroat, no limit. And you'd play, and you'd get down there, and these people, one of them, Glenn Cozen, I can mention Glenn's name, great guy, and very fine player. Glenn had finished a few years earlier number 2 in the world championship, World Series of Poker. So these people could play. I got in there and I said, well, that sounds pretty good. So I guess it was about 6 weeks later, went out to join the tournament with Robbie. Had a great time, didn't do any good, lost my money, but I had a wonderful time. You go out for dinner at night and played around with everybody. And as I began to really enjoy this, they'd have a couple a year, but the Aces and Eights was the big man. And those of you that don't know, Aces and Eights is called the dead man's hand. And when I think it was Wild Bill was the one, Hickok was the one, not 100% sure, and I certainly should know that, but nonetheless, when he was shot, he was holding Aces and Eights, and that's that story. I think it was in South Dakota. But we'd play and we'd go on there for 2-3 years to go on, and I didn't do very well. And I had some tournament experience, as I mentioned before, but not that much tournament experience. I was a cash game player. So I had one of those in the kitchen moments with Jay Moriarty, like people like George Malulu who brought me in the kitchen and say, dude, he didn't use that word, dude, but I used it. And he said, you can't beat us. You're coming in here, especially when you're hopped up. I'll never forget that. That sounds like one of those 1950s James Dean movies, Hopped Up. And let's say I was moving at a different speed or a different level than they were at that particular time. Of course, their play level was much superior to mine. But he took me in the kitchen. He said, look, I'm going to tell you something right now. He said, just be perfectly frank. Do you mind if I give you some advice? And I said, no, of course not. He said, you're not a very good tournament player. You don't understand how to play tournament. You're a cash game player, and you're trying to play tournament, and they're not the same game at all. One is playing, using all the principles. There are principles in both games, but at a certain point, when you're playing tournament, you have to play the players, you have to play the circumstance, you have to play your chip count, you have to play things other than just looking down to see what type of a hand you have. And I was not schooled in that kind. He said, but I'll tell you what the good thing is. He said, you have very good people reading skills. And he said, that's a big asset in this game. If you want to do better, if you really want to come out here or go further, go to Vegas, go to the big tourneys, you're going to have to get out here and get beat up here in Los Angeles, go play at the Bike, play at some of these Hollywood casino, go to Vegas, enter these tournaments, and they're going to either beat you up, they're going to bust you. I interrupted. I said, well, they're not going to bust me because I'm not going to go out there and play for tons and tons of money. I know better. I don't even play a game I'm good at for tons. He said, no, they'll either break your spirit or you'll learn how to play and read the people. And he said, I think if you ever got to that point, you could do well. So, okay, Jay, I appreciate it. So I went back home and I was talking to my partner and I thought, all right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to see if I can get to where I go out there and just get beat up. So the next time I tell you a poker story, it'll be when I went to Los Angeles to start my journey, and it'll be a 3-year road to making it to the World Series, but with all kinds of interesting stories, being in an elevator with Amarillo Slim, walking across this kind of crappy looking area on the Los Angeles freeway and run into him and his wife. Marlene and I did in the elevator, beaten just like me. And I realized you're playing with the big boys. You're playing with the toughies. It ends up, there's a lot of good stories in there, a lot of famous people, including some Hollywooders. And I'm honestly leaving it for Shelley. I'm very proud of the path that I took because I'm a competitive person and I embraced it and took off. Didn't realize what kind of a thrashing I was going to get. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play 3 in a row. We're going to play some Rascal Flatts. Those of you who don't know much about Rascal Flatts, they started in 99, started as a Disney recorder. They did 7 albums, all platinum. They're kind of country, but they have some rock singles. They did 25 singles over their career. 14 went number 1 to country. They've opened a restaurant chain called Rascal Flatts Bar and Grill. They've helped promote music in disadvantaged schools or for people that didn't have it. They think music adds a lot to the life, and believe me, I agree with that, which kind of ties me into our Be Kind People program. Music is going to be involved in all of it. Music is involved in their charity, and it helps. These guys were givers, and they have also donated millions to the Monroe Carroll Jr. Hospital, which is in Vanderbilt, on the Vanderbilt campus, which is where I just finished coming from a week before when I went out to see Matt and Heather's boy, Reed, and his team play Rascal Flatts. And this is a cover of a Tom Cochrane song, Life is a Highway. Then we're going to go into the double play section, and we're going to do a, I'll just, you know what, I have a sticky left, so let's just play the 3. We'll get it, and then we'll tell you what happens after that. We'll get the sticky out and lay it, and I think you'll be pretty comfortable knowing who the second person is doing the cover. All right, Dave, take us on in. Let's go to the Deuces or Wilder section, and let's do some rolling and some tumbling.
That you travel on, there's one day here and the next day gone. Sometimes you bend, sometimes you stand, sometimes you turn your back to the wind. There's a world outside every darkened door where blues won't haunt you anymore, where the brave are free and lovers soar. Come ride with me to the distant shore. We won't hesitate to break down the garden gate. There's not much time left today. Life is a highway, I wanna ride it all night long. If you're going my way, well, I wanna drive it all night long. Through all these cities and all these towns, it's in my blood and it's all around. I love you now like I loved you then. This is the road and these are the hands. Come on.
Out of the Deuces Are Wilder covers vault comes rock's best songs with cool and sometimes crazy or bizarre covers. It's time for Harry's Deuces Are Wilder.
Tell you about the way they treated me.
Life is a Highway, Rascal Flatts. Actually, that particular track was in the movie Cars, which was a Disney production. Rollin' and Tumblin'. Rollin' and Tumblin'. You started it off with a legendary Elmore James short career because they had heart issues. It's not going to be one of those drug-related deaths. Died as a young man. He was famous for being called, well, actually he was called King of the Slide Guitar. And what he did is he was one of those guitar players, you know, you can pick up the guitar and play or pick up the drums or do whatever you're going to do. But some people just like to experiment around, see what they can get. And he worked at an electrical supply or electrical shop with his brother-in-law, and he would take two pickups from a guitar and try to distort them and play with wires and play with stuff to get himself that really amped up, amplified sound. And he had a really rugged, vibrant, powerful voice. Some people said when you listen to him playing, you were going to be dancing. Even somebody like me might be dancing when Mr. Elmore. He wore these big, thick glasses. And he knew when he was young that he had that heart condition, and he influenced, you name it, he did it. Keith from the Stones, Stevie Ray, Eric Burden, Canned Heat, Fleetwood Mac, all kinds of people were involved in that he had a big influence on. And he's one of those cats that if he went on long and long, who knows what, because he was an inventor and an individual. Great song as it was. Love listening to it. You can just feel the energy coming out of the song. And, of course, the next gentleman that also his name starts with an E, Mr. Eric Clapton, did a nice job on his Unplugged album of Rollin' and Tumblin'. And there again illustrates somebody who got affected by Mr. Elmore James. Very interesting. Even a short life, a very interesting one. And I really enjoy listening to him. I got 5 or 6 of his tunes, and we'll get some other ones out. As we move along, it's always at the moment when I start to look at the list and think, all right, where are we now? What about the Enquirer? When does it come in? What else have we got? We're going to cool the Enquirer down now. It has a lot of glory for you. Don't be worrying about that. And it's a nice, another gift for those of you who've missed Valentine's. But I'm actually going to play one song now. It's a song that is one of the world's greatest songs of all time. And I was reminded of her. And in my days of janitorial duty at KGY, I heard her many times sing this song and others. And my father brought her and a bunch of other people in a little kind of a junior Grand Ole Opry to El Paso to Liberty Hall, Miss Patsy Cline. The song, of course, is crazy. It is country, but it deserves its own little listen. A wonderful, wonderful tune. And when we were down there with our pals, we went to we were right next to, we didn't go in there, to the Patsy Cline Museum. Very famous in the Opry. Cut short with a plane wreck. So we'll let Patsy do her thing. And then as we come back, we have another request. So I'm looking this thing over and I'm thinking maybe we'll do the request and another song after that, and then we're going to open the doors and get the newsprint going and listen to the Enquirer. So we're going to move along then and let her have her own private stage. Next, the legendary Patsy Cline.
Crazy, I'm crazy for feeling so lonely. I'm crazy, crazy for feeling so blue. I knew you'd love me as long as you wanted, and then someday you'd leave me for somebody new. crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you. Crazy for thinking that my love could hold you. I'm crazy for trying and crazy for crying, and I'm crazy for loving you.
Yes, I listened to every single bit of that song. I felt the hair go back up on the back of my neck. What a beautiful tune it is. That has no genre. It's just a beautiful song sung by Patsy. All right, we move into our second request, a double request. This goes out to somebody I know very, 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 very well, my sister. She wanted a little Nancy Ferris. She wanted a little Joe Cocker, Feeling All Right. So as I look over the list here, I'm thinking, let's see, I think we'll do Feeling All Right. Then we'll come back to the Enquire, and then let's play 2, maybe 3, maybe even 4. How does that sound? We're free at Radio Wilder. We can do whatever they want. Okay, Nancy Isabel, here's your tune. Here's a little Joe Cocker for you. Enjoy it. Love you. Have fun listening on the Wilder program.
Seems I've got to have a chance to see him. Every night I have the strangest dream, imprisoned by the way could have been left you on my own.
Since that is our second request, we have requests out for Justin, David, Lauren, Sandy, Barbara. I'm not sure how to pronounce this name. Paola. Mashek. We don't have anybody from Italy. I was kind of hoping that's what it'll be. I don't know if it's Paola. We got you covered. We're going to play. So as I looked out to number 24, the next show, I barely have even started on that. But what I do have in there, 2 requests. I got some sexy Swedes going to be doing and helping me with the Deuces Are Wilder, and that's it. So I can't even tell you that much more. However, as we all know, or I know, that particular week and that particular show is going to have the break. The British commander, David, is going to come on board and break his tune with some live video. I don't know if we're going to Skype between now and then, but Dave will become somewhat of a regular contributor. Dave is from England, did most of his stuff there. As I mentioned, he had a couple of UK hits. And I hope in this particular show, some of his sound bites, because he gave us some, are going to be in there.
Hi, this is David Sweetlaw on RadioWilder.com, where you can hear the newest and the best music in rock and roll.
But the beautiful thing is that I've already mentioned on the show is that I said, he's probably some guy touring over in Japan with some of my Japanese fans. You know, they know I'm big over there. They love the way I talk. And of course, I know they understand me, just like I understand them. And at the end of it, if you remember, he said, "You're not going to believe it. He moved to Japan. He has a Japanese wife, and he hangs out in Japan." I said, "Okay, that completes the full circle on my daughter's music book." But that's what I'm going to say. So the big highlight, of course, is going to be kind people will be up to speed, and David will break his song there. So that's enough to look forward to that. But we're not done here. We're not nearly done here, because now it's time.
Rip from the headlines. Megan and Matt's Dressing Room Hookup. Brought to you by Harry's National Enquirer, spelled with an I, because inquiring minds and behinds want to know. Now, here's Harry.
We're going to have to get some music. I know Dave is going to do some rips out of it, but the more and more and more and more I look at the greatness of the Enquirer and their stories. And remember, I'm giving you the big stuff. Hopefully you'll go out and buy it. There are many pages of victories there. I just rip out the headlines, but there are side stories, sub-stories that you're not even going to believe. But I don't believe what I see in the USA Today either, or some of these other ones. So they're just as nutty. And I don't know if the Enquirer has just stayed in its position with me, which is a high-level mag. And I read everything, so I'm not quite as dumb as I sound. I read every kind of book there is. I'm a speed reader. But the Enquirer has always fascinated me. And I'll pick up a couple of the other gutters, like Globe and them, but they're kind of backups. If we need them, we need them. It's kind of like an In Touch magazine compared to People, if you want to look at that in that way. But the Enquirer, I think maybe the other people, I don't want to say they've lowered themselves to the Enquirer. That doesn't sound right for the Enquirer. Let's just say the Enquirer has passed them. I'm going to leave it at that. This week, the big one, Megan and Matt's Dressing Room Hookup. Who is Megan and who is Matt? Megan is Prince Harry's fiancée. And apparently Matt, who's the scoundrel Matt, Mr. Matt Lauer, innocent Matt, we call him. I used to hear these stories about Matt. Sorry, Matt, I'm just going to say alleged. I better watch myself here. Alleged. My lawyer actually listens to this show occasionally. Allegedly had harassed some of the ladies and guests, etc., on his show, and he's been unceremoniously booted from the Today Show. And his wife, who's busted up with him about 19 times, and they're working something out. Of course, it's all going to be about cash. That's how it boils down to. But Megan came on for a guest appearance with Matt, and apparently, from what the eyewitnesses said, there was a lot of time spent off in Matt's dressing room, and the doors were shut. Matt didn't come out. And the next thing you know, there were some added additions for her, little, foodie things for 2 or 3 minute little segments added to the show. And the next thing you know, Matt was participating in those little segments. And the scuttlebutt is, of course, Matt doesn't do that just for anybody because he's Big Matt. But let's just put it this way. There is rage in the Royals' home, in the palace. They are not happy about this type of performance from Meghan and their beloved Prince Harry. Now, anybody named Harry's got to be a real gentleman, but I'm sure he'll overlook this type of behavior. And so it's just another little tune-up. You might not have heard about it, but the Meghan Matt dressing room hookup, that leads our story. And then we're going to go over to Hollywood to Cameron Diaz, who used to be an A-lister. She was in a couple of real nice movies. Sexy lady, fun lady. Seems like she has a lot of intelligence in those eyes. Well, her career's been on the downward spiral. She hasn't had any action really since 2014 and nothing great. Well, she's married to a gentleman named Benji Madden. I think he's in some kind of a group. He's yet to grace the Radio Wilder program. I don't know what he is or what he does, but who knows? Maybe there'll be a dedication for Benji and some of his tunes. Well, the good news is, after all these years, she's married to him, to Benji. Cameron is finally pregnant at 45. She's been dreaming of a child. They did the fertility treatments, the drugs, but in a combination, the Enquirer says, between drugs and tremendous love from Benji, turned this thing around. And so now, as her A-list career stalled, she has been uplifted by her child, by her pregnancy. So good for her. Seems like a nice lady, and I'm not just making that up, but it's pumping her up, making her happy. So we thought we'd lay that in, just simply because most of you have seen her plenty of times, and at 45, she's doing something a little special, and good for her. We can cheer. The Enquirer does allow you to cheer now and then for some of the people. However, the next story could be a downer for the Bruce Willis fans of America or of Radio Wilder. Bruce has been in trouble. Bruce has, I don't know what the exact word is, but people are now afraid. They're scared of Bruce Willis's heart attack fears. Bruce, apparently on one of his new shows, I'm not sure if it was a TV show. I think it was a series. Bruce was doing his part. Co-starring with Bruce was Edward Norton, and apparently Bruce collapsed. They had a couple good pictures of him collapsing. Edward came to the rescue, lifted him up, and the heart attack fear is very, very close to Bruce's fans. They think it might, sooner or later, it's going to get him. And why is that? That's because in the 80s and etc., Bruce was a party animal. He put together some horrid band. Sorry, Bruce. Well, that's what it was. But Bruce's band was out there. Bruce was partying. Bruce was a fueler. The Enquirer pointed out quite correctly, I hope, that Bruce received a DUI. But then more importantly and more dangerous was Bruce apparently assaulted a policeman who came to his house in 1987 to break up a big old party down at Brucey's. So they think that hard living and that thing is going to finally bring Bruce down. He didn't look that good in the pictures, but the Enquirer has the ability to somehow make you look maybe not as great as you possibly could look. There are some pictures in there. There's some beautiful liposuction pictures and some other ones that you think, is that really whoever I think it is? And the other disturbing information we got about Bruce in this article was there's been evidence of some moments of what they deemed maybe a visit to Alzheimer's Academy or some dementia being exhibited by Bruce. I think he's in his early 60s, 62, 63, got a nice wife. So we hope, Bruce, that this is just, you've been working too hard and you're kind of weary. And so as far as our big stories of the day, we're going to leave it at that. There are plenty more. If you go out and give them a $5 bill at the stand where the Enquirer is, you'll be reading for 2 hours. Some wonderful things. And this week, the gift that struck me, I don't want to always offer jewelry to you from the Enquirer, but I'm sure there were some people that were dismayed that they didn't jump on that $45 ring that we offered for they offered for Valentine's Day. Well, this time, this is what they have now. Now, I'm not sure what all this is. I wish Doug would weigh into the program as a jeweler, because I may be talking about this fine jewelry and maybe not giving it the kudos or the respect that it deserves. But this is what they call, what is the exact name? This is the one that misses a Mocha Splendor, they call it. It can be yours. It's a diamond ace ring. You know, I don't know what kind of an offshoot of a diamond that is, but you can indulge in 1.5 carats of exquisite sparkle. Never have vanilla stones sparkled so sweetly, nor the mocha some of the polka stones, tempted so sinfully. Honestly, I'm a copywriter, but I'm not writing these. I'm just reading them. They frame a 1-carat stone so similar that only you, the owner, could tell the difference. Exceptionally priced, of course, as all the Enquire jewels in the jewelry store are. $69 plus. You got to give them $750. I guess that carat's pretty heavy. You give them $750 handling fee. You can pay as usual in 2 monthly installments of $38.25. And as a bonus, it arrives, of course, in elegant packaging. That will be your treat. So if you missed out on the Valentine, these things look nice. It's kind of colorful. I'll admit that as I'm looking at the picture, the beautiful mocha and the vanilla ring. I don't know what Diamond East is. So Doug, if you're listening, please send me something and tell me what that is. It looks just like a diamond. So it must have some resemblance to it. But I almost, at the end of this, I never like the shows to end because I'm having so much fun. But man, it's a real bummer when I'm out of the Enquire, when I know there's so much more for you. But we can't turn this into the Enquire show. We just give you what we can give you. All right, as I take a look now that I see these again, I think I'm going to do a double and then another 2. And we'll top it off and finish it off. We're going to go to a John Fogerty song that he did as an individual, Sugar Sugar. It's a nice tune himself. And then Huey Lewis is making his mark over at the Wilder, coming off the Wilder stage. I see the curtains moving right now. He's going to do the Heart of Rock and Roll, which is what we try to have this program do. So we'll do those 2. We'll stop, say something, and then we're going to go on to a woman who has been on our program before. Although she went over and did a little rock and roll, we're going to bring her a little bit more soul in this song, still not exactly her jazz background. And then we're going to have another debut of a band, a twosome that used to have a TV show. It's not a band, it's a duo, the Righteous Brothers. So I like these 2 songs together, kind of. I think they're going to work, and they're going to do a little Latin loop-de-loo. So let's go. Let's have some sugar. We all like sugar, a little sugar, sugar. Mr. John Fogerty. Step up, John, take the mic, and let's have some sugar, sugar in my life, because that's what this show is in my life.
Everybody want it. Everybody need it. Everybody got to have it. Everybody knows I'm looking for some sugar, 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 sugar in my life. Sugar, 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 sugar in my life. When the day is over and the work is done, that's when I got to find my baby. She's the only one looking for some sugar, 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 sugar in my life. Yeah. Sugar, 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 sugar in my life. Mama always told me, don't you be no fool. Take some time to share your loving. That's a golden rule. Got to have some sugar, 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 sugar in my life. Sugar, 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 sugar in my life. sugar, 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 baby. Sugar, 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 sugar.
New York is everything they say, and no place that I'd rather be. Where else can you do 500,000 things, all at 2:45? When they play their music, ooh, that modern music, they back it with a lot of style, but it's still that same old backbeat rhythm that really, really drives them wild. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and from what I've seen, I believe 'em. Now the other may be barely breathing, but the heart of rock and roll is still beating. LA, Hollywood, and the Sunset Strip is something everyone should see. Neon lights and the pretty, pretty girls all dress so scantily. When they play their music, that hard rock music, they back it with a lot of flash, but it's still that same old backbeat rhythm that really, really kicks them in the. They say the heart of rock and roll is still beating, and from what I've seen, I believe 'em. Now the other may be barely breathing, but the heart of rock and roll is still beating. Johnny!
We'll pull a little Dick Clark here. Got a good beat, good to dance to. Let's give it a 92. Huey Lewis and the Playboys, and the News, actually. The Heart of Rock and Roll. Huey did a pretty good acting job in the movie Duets. It's a good movie. Did some nice things in there, and he's talented. He's been around a long time. They play good music. They play rock and roll. That's exactly what they do. Going next, we're going to go to Etta James. I'm not going to say much about Etta. Classic Hall of Famer in all the halls that you could possibly have. She did a cover of Born on the Bayou for us and really gritted it and ground it out for us. And now she's going to do some blues. Something's Got a Hold on Me. That's a 61 single. It's out of the Essential Etta James collection. Righteous Brothers did a wonderful little TV show, several big tunes, nice voice, entwined, little Latin loop-de-loo, L-U-P-E-L-U. Some of these things, as I look at them, I get my dates goofed up a little bit because some are remastered or redone. I've seen when I said, wait a minute, that's not 1980-something. That's a 60s tune. This particular tune is exactly the same thing. It's a 1990. This song was done 60s, early 70s. So we'll do the two of those. They kind of go together, blues and rock, but there's a little that bumba beat in there. Finish the show off. We got two more. I've already talked to you about the showtime we have coming up on the 23rd of March. It'll carry its own thing. But the other thing I was thinking about was Ty, when we were talking, was, he played for Ricky, and they did a great album in '74, Windfall, I think it was, or when I'll get that album, but it was critically acclaimed. And Ty did the album with him, and Ricky said, or his son said, this is how this story was. Gunnar, one of his sons, twin sons, called Ty and said, I've been trying to get a hold of you for 5 years. And Ty said, well, here I am. This is a few months ago. He said, my dad loved playing with you. He said, the bands that we played in with you were just natural, and I felt like we're just playing music and have a great time. And I've heard Gunnar and his brother, Marlene, I saw him down in Mesa, and they did a perfect replica of all of his stuff. They did covers of every one of them, and they sang good and great. He said, Ty, you were an inspiration to me. I wanted to play the drums when I was about 10, and I wanted to, but then we realized we were going to try to do dad stuff after he died, so we had to get up front, play the guitars. But he said, we're going to come down to Austin, and we're going to play someplace, end of the summer or something, and we want you to play with us. So Ty's going to do that, and I'm going to try to make a beeline down there for that and see that little reunite with Ty and the boys. You're going to enjoy some of these stories, real life stories of people who spent 20, 30, 40 years with these musicians in bad times, good times, recording studios. When you're a studio band, you may do a song over and over and over and over again, and it takes a while, unless you're the very finest of musicians, to meld. Those stories are going to be great. And then Howard's probably going to top them all with 105 artists all over the place, every kind you can think of, different, and what he was able to do to further their sound and their audio and make things sound as good as they wanted or even better. I'm looking forward to the next 8-9 months of the show to bring you some content that's real, that's interesting. We'll still mix it up, but when you got something that's real, you got something that's real. So let Etta come on. We've already heard the lovely Patsy Cline. Let Etta do her thing. Then the boys, the Righteous Brothers, will come on. We'll have one more quick pop, and we'll top off the show. Another successful show to our faithful fans in 17 countries. And even, I will say, proudly, I say this, that the race between Japan and the United Kingdom is going on. Japan, let's say there was a separation of 2 last week, but this week Japan has opened up a 5 lead. So I'm surprised. I thought finally United Kingdom would pass them. But our Japanese fans over there are enjoying the program, and I don't take it lightly. It's just insane to me to think of all these countries. Nothing moved in Russia. They're still sitting around drinking their vodka, probably too cold to invite anybody else to the Wilder program. But all joking aside, I appreciate it very much, but I'm still so stunned by it. This is the only way I can actually deal with it, is just kind of, I don't believe it. And I'm happy that we have it. I'm happy that we do it. Terry said the other day, he said, I'm X amount of age. I grew up in a town of 2,800 people, and to think that I'm involved in something that is in 17 countries and it's music, which I've always loved, it's just remarkable to me. I cannot get my arms around it. And that's how I feel. And as Marcia told me, the Be Kind People Project said, you started this thing with the purest of motives, so organically it's just gone on, and I couldn't have more fun at this part of my life. It's awesome, and I'm a very lucky man. Etta, take over. Once that big voice comes on, everybody going to know it's Etta James.
Oh, sometimes I get a good feeling, yeah. I get a feeling that I never had before, no. I just want to tell you right now that I really do believe that something's got a hold on me here. Oh, it must be love. Oh, something's got a hold on me right now, child. Oh, it must be love. Let me tell you now, I've got a feeling, I feel so strange. Everything about me seems to have changed. Step by step, I got a brand new walk. I even sound sweeter when I talk. I said, oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, it must be love. You know it must be love. Let me tell you now, something's got a hold on me here. Oh, it must be love. Oh, something's got a hold on me right now, child. Oh, it must be love. Let me tell you now, I've never felt like this before. Something's got a hold on me that won't let go. Believe I'd fly if I only could. I feel so strange, but it sure is good. I said, oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, it must be love. You know it must be love. Let me tell you now, my heart feels happy, my feet feel light. I shake all over, I feel alright. I never felt like this before. Something's got a hold on me that won't let go. I never thought it could happen to me. Got me happy when I'm in misery. I never thought it could be this way. But love's sure gone and put a hurting on me. I said, oh, 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 hey, hey, yeah. Oh, it must be love. You know it must be love. You know it walks like love. You know it walks like love. It talks like love. You know it talks like love. Make me feel alright. It makes me feel alright. In the middle of the night. In the middle of the night. La 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 la. La 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 la.
You're listening to RadioWilder.com with new tunes from a new English artist, March 23rd. Listen for it right here on RadioWilder.com.
Hi, this is David Sweetlow, and you're listening to RadioWilder.com.
Talking about my baby, little Latin loopy-loo. She's a hot-footin' baby, there ain't no dance she couldn't do. She my groovy little baby, little Latin loopy-loo. A papa loopy-loo, a shake it, loopy. You wild, twisty, pretty baby, come on and do the hoochie-coo. Mash 'em up, pretty baby, little Latin loopy-loo. If you wanna do the twist, loopy-loo can put it down. If you wild to say, she's the best for miles around. She my mashed potato baby, little Latin loopy-loo. Papa loopy-loo. I shake it, loopy. Wild, twisty, pretty baby, come on and do the hoochie-coo.
like the tom-tom action. You're on the snare, you hit the note on the snare, and then boom, boom, boom on the tom, back down, boom, boom, boom. Hit it right. The drums are tuned very nicely in that song. And when you hear those, you just would like to be doing that. That's a left-handed action. You can do it you could do it on another tom, or you could do it on the floor tom, but I think he's doing it just on his regular two toms that are available with either hand that are right sitting on top of the drum, right in front of the snare and over the bass drum. Good job, studio. 2 songs left. Lemaitre, Swedes, a little Swedish pop duo, electronic, but regular music involved in singing. Jenny A's involved in it. Powerful little tune. What has come out of Sweden, Norway, Denmark, and those little groups, I don't know if they're just freezing to death. They just all get together and say, we've got to do something in the winter and just play music all the time and get good at it, because they are. Because it just seeps through that there are more and more and more. I heard a real good tune today. I was over, I forgot what station I was listening to. I was cruising around and I heard a song by the Cocktail Slippers. They did a really good cover. I think they covered a Connie Francis early song. But they have their own style, and they're very good with electronics and very good with the equipment. Again, I'd imagine they're not doing a lot of outdoor concerts over there. I don't know it all the time, but I do know it's cold in the winter, so we're going to enjoy that. And then Ryan Adams and the Cardinals, just a song that I like called Let It Ride. It's just a rocker, nothing to get anything else other than I thought this is a good way to end the program. Very excited. The birthday show that I had a couple of weeks ago was the most fun of any show I've ever had, and somebody said, man, that's the most natural you sounded. I was squealing and singing happy birthday to myself. I really enjoyed that and had fun. Got some good comments on that. And back on the Wilder News section, we're going to catch up with these requests. We're going to be 2 and 2 for a while until we at least get some of it. We haven't forgotten you. When you come in, we're almost at the end of our T-shirts, so if you really want to get one now, you better get it, because after that, they're going to go into the store and they're going to go into the glass case and only be for sale, so that hopefully we help the charity and move it along, but we're going to have other goodies. So I want to thank everybody again. Looking forward to David's big show, our first time that we do that. Excited to have Ty on board. Excited with the Be Kind People project. Very, very happy with all of it. We got some new picks up. Happy to have our meditation thing on. We're only a 3-man band, so we try to knock it off the best that we can. And on top of it, even though I'm not going to make any promises, I think we found a venue for a live concert towards the end of the year. Whether we pull it off or not, we're just going to have to see how that goes. So thanks a lot for listening to Radio Wilder. We appreciate it. Remember, all shows are available on demand. The shows are on Friday night, 6 o'clock Mountain Time, 8 o'clock Eastern. If you don't start up there, you're just beginning your date night, or you just went off with the fans after work over to the bar, pick it up Saturday morning, Saturday night, whatever you want. Or if you're an iTuneser, go over to iTunes, go to podcasts, download just using the search terms radio and Wilder. It'll pop up. It'll be a certain show that you'll have, and we appreciate it and we welcome it. And finally, if you see songs on the playlist, you can hit them. It'll take you that you want. You just takes you right to iTunes. It's the same price as it would be if you went on your own, and we get a little bit of credit. We get some action with that. We've had a few hundred of those go in and download. It may be a song you think, I'm not going to wait to look it up. I just want to hit it right now. And that's what you go ahead and do. So from Dave, Terry, all the rest of us, the guys in London, Mark, the rest of the gang, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and thanks for tuning in to RadioWilder.com. We love you, and we love the fact that you're spending your time with us.
I feel the shadows hanging over. But wait, now come closer. To come and take me away. And I can feel my heart skip every time that I slip. I wanna run away.
a Delta Queen. I wasn't ready to go. I'm never ready to go. 27 years of nothing but failures and promises that I couldn't keep. Oh Lord, I wasn't ready to go. I'm never ready to go. Let it ride easy down the road. Let it ride, let it take away all of the darkness. Let it ride, let it rock me in the arms of strangers, angels, until it brings me home. Let it ride, let it roll, let it go. Tumbling off a ferry boat, I was at the bar till 3, oh Lord, and I wasn't ready to go. I'm never ready to go. Tennessee's a brother to my sister Carolina, where they're gonna bury me, and I ain't ready to go. I'm never ready to go. Let it ride easy down the road. Let it ride, let it take away all of this darkness. Let it ride, let it rock me in the arms of strangers, angels, until it brings me home. Let it ride, let it roll, let it go. I wanna see you tonight, dancing in the endless moonlight in the parking lot and the headlights of cars. Someplace on the moon where they move the drive-in theater, where I left the car that I can't find, but I still got the keys to. Let it ride easy down the road. Let it ride, let it take away all of this darkness. Let it ride, let it rock me in the arms of strangers, angels, until it brings me home. Let it ride, let it roll, let it go.
You've been listening to RadioWilder.com with Harry. Inquiring minds and behinds want to know. So be sure you're listening in every week for the interviews, music specials, rock and roll from around the world, the old, the new, the avant-garde. It's right here with Harry on RadioWilder.com. Thanks for listening.
Hi, this is David Sweetlaw on RadioWilder.com, where you can hear the newest and the best music in rock and roll.